Hello and welcome to another Nikke video. I'll be breaking down both Tia and Naga skill kits, and I'll be formatting these series of videos in a different way. I recently took a poll and it looks like you wanted me to do their videos separate, but it wasn't as a decisive victory in my opinion. So since this is the third video in the series, I'll be treating it as if you had been able to pull both of them from their respective banners. Since they work very similar to the bunnies, BLANC and NOIR, and they benefit from each other's skills. Please, I urge you to use the timestamps on this video to jump around, since I will be adding reading of the skill descriptions to this video, just in case you did not see the previous two videos. First, I'll delve into the skills of Naga, highlighting her unique strengths and abilities that make her a valuable team member. Afterwards, we'll explore how Tia's skill set complements and enhances Naga's capabilities, creating a synergistic partnership. I will also be doing the same method for Tia's skills. Not sure how well this experiment will work out, but I'll appreciate your feedback. Please leave a like and a sub, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, her skill number 1 is called Guardian of Friendship. It's a passive. Activates after 12 normal attacks, affects all allies. Recovery of covers HP up 14.57%. Activates when applying shield, affects all allies. Damage dealt when attacking core up 85.17% for 10 seconds. Looking at the first part of Naga's skill 1, Naga has 9 ammo shots by default, but if she is able to have some overload gear or equipped an ammo cube, that will allow her to have this active with every reload. Please keep in mind that she only heals the HP of cover and does not rebuild it, but unlike leader, this does affect all allies. This will also activate Tia's skill 1. It will boost attack damage by 32.11% for 10 seconds. Looking at the second part of Naga's skill 1, Tia's burst places a shield on all her allies, and since she is a burst 1, this core attacking buff will be applied every time. Please note that there are other Nikkes that also applied shields, such as Arya, Poli, or even Senti. The standard bonus core damage percentage of Nikkes is 200%, so adding it together would put it at 285% damage. Other Nikkes like A2, Nihilister, and Alice are able to charge their shots to a max of 350%, so adding this buff would increase their great damage potential even further. Alright, looking at skill 2, Support of Friendship. It's a passive. Activates after 5 normal attacks, affects 2 ally units with the highest attack. Damage dealt when attacking core up 40.07% for 5 seconds. Activates after 5 normal attacks, affects 2 ally units with the lowest HP percentage. Recovers 9.58% of the caster's final max HP as HP. Just like I stated earlier, giving her some overload gear or put an ammo cube on Naga will allow you to have this active at least 2 times per reload. Looking at the first part of Naga's skill 2, if both skill 1 and 2 are active, the combined core attacking bonus will be an extra 125.24% for 10 seconds. So all Nikkes would be able to receive 325.24% attack core bonus. The charging Nikkes, for example Alice, core attack bonus would come out to a total of 475.24% core damage per hit combined. But please keep in mind, this will only do the 2 strongest Nikkes in the squad. Now looking at the second part of Naga's skill 2, she will be healing close to 9.5% after all bonuses are applied. So that includes armor level ups and skill bonus buffs. For example, mass bonus max HP being applied. Keep in mind that it's only going to be going off the final max HP stat of Naga. Also note, this will only affect 2 allies with the lowest HP, so units that drain their HP with attacks will receive a huge benefit from this. Lastly, her burst skill, as long as we're with friends. It has a 20-second cooldown. Affects self, gain pierce for 10 seconds. Affects all allies, attack up 16.18% of caster's attack for 10 seconds. Activates when applying shield, affects all allies, attack up 31.02% of caster's attack for 10 seconds. Looking at the first part of Naga's skill burst, Pierce in itself isn't that bad. It deals with raptures with multiple weak points, such as Gravedigger or Nihilister, and also those annoying shielded raptures. The downside is, since her weapon is a shotgun, any rapture that either prefers fighting long range or they feel a little froggy and leap to the back. This will reduce the effectiveness of the Pierce buff. Now, looking at the second and third part of Naga's burst skill, they work very similar except for this one condition. If no conditions are met, then the whole team gets a 16.18% attack buff. If Tia skill 1 condition gets triggered, then this buff jumps up to 48.29% extra attack damage. When a shield gets applied, Naga gives an even bigger buff to the whole team. Luckily, Tia's burst skill applies a shield on the whole team, so every burst will be applying 31.02% attack buff for 10 seconds. If Tia skill 1 condition is also in effect, then this attack buff now jumps to 63.13% extra damage for every burst. But please keep in mind that this is only caster's attack and not final attack. So it will use Naga's default attack stat and not the attack stat with all the buffs. Her skill 1 is called Reptile Lover. It's a passive. Activates when recovering covers HP, affects self. Cooldown of burst skill down 13 seconds, stacks up to 2 times and lasts for 12 seconds. Activates when recovering covers HP, affects all allies. Attack damage up 32.11% for 10 seconds. Looking at the first part of Tia skill 1, before it was only leader that would be able to heal cover HP. But now with Naga being introduced, this will allow her conditions to be triggered more easily. Tia also is able to heal her own cover's HP thanks to her own skill too, but having more options of doing so is always a big help. Tia's burst skill is normally 40 seconds, but thanks to the part of the skill stacking twice, it allows her own burst skill to be active after 14 seconds, easily being able to put her in the 20-second burst category if all things go well. Looking at the second part of Tia skill 1, once her HP cover is healed, not only does she apply a 32.11% damage buff, but Naga's burst skill also applies a 31.02% additional attack buff for a total of 63.13% for 10 seconds. Alright, skill number 2, Chameleon Invisibility. It is also a passive. Activates after landing 5 normal attacks, affects self. Covers max HP up 32.75% of caster's max HP, lasts for 5 seconds. Attract, taunt all enemies for 5 seconds. Activates when using burst skill, affects self. Recovery of covers HP up 21.41% of the caster's final max HP. Recovers 21.96% of attack damage for 10 seconds. Looking at the first part of Tia's skill 2, Tia's default ammo is 6 shots, so this will be active with every reload as long as you keep landing your shots or even getting the explosive radius to hit. Please note that it's only taking her default max HP and not final max HP with all the buffs included. Looking at the second part of Tia's skill, this healing of her cover will be based on her final max HP, so all the armor and skill buffs will boost her cover healing. With the taunt being active, she will be attacked more often, but with Naga's skill 1 cover healing providing support, she will be able to last much longer no problem. Tia also receives an extra effect on her weapon. She receives a lifesteal of a little over 20% for 10 seconds. So firing your shots quickly and aiming efficiently will allow you to get more from this effect. The explosion radius will also help you lifesteal even more. Please keep in mind that Tia's skill 2 only affects herself and not the whole team. Lastly, the burst skill, Lizard's Protection, and it's a 40-second cooldown. Affects self, generate a shield with 35.07% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. Affects all allies except self, generates a shield with 10.21% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. Affects all allies, re-enter burst skill, stage 1. Now looking at the first and second part of Tia's burst skill, the whole team gets a defensive shield placed on them, where Tia gets the lion's share of the shield. Tia getting a little over 35% and everyone else getting a little over 10% of Tia's final max HP. So having Nikkes that boost max HP, such as Mass or 2B, will help enhance this burst. Looking at the last part of Tia's burst skill, the way this effect works is that after Tia uses her burst skill, it will be looking for another burst 1 skill to activate. If you do not have another burst 1 Nikke, then the burst chain will fail and you will be left hanging. So you will have to be running another burst 1 Nikke to ensure the burst chain finishes. But please note that there is a very slight delay when activating the second burst 1 for some reason and cannot be bypassed. So an example of the new order would go like this: B1, B1, B2, B3, and a B2 or B3, your choice. Alright, now let me get my final thoughts on the Dazzling Pearl squad. These two will be providing plenty of synergy for themselves and serious support for the whole team. Naga being able to heal cover HP, and upon doing so will trigger Tia's burst cooldown and attack damage buff, whereas Tia's absorbing shield will give the whole team more time to survive and also trigger Naga's attack damage and core damage boost. Giving Naga more ammo to work with and increasing the max HP of Tia, as well as making sure Tia's rocket land on target, will be a devastating combo to ensure victory. Looking at possible Nikkes to put on the team, getting a Nikke like Dorothy, Leader, Volume, or Dala, for example, will help ensure you can keep the burst cooldown of the whole team low, since Tia's burst cooldown effect only works on herself. Having someone like Mass or 2B, for example, can help with increasing their max HP, which will help when Naga skill 2's healing, Tia skill 2's cover effect, and her burst shield application, since they all work on final max HP. Plenty of testing will have to be done to figure out what is the most optimal team. Now, in my opinion, both of these lovely ladies are going to be worth pulling and putting on your roster. They provide so much benefits for any team, even if you don't put any other Nikkes that will enhance their own abilities. The girls can work off each other no problem, and just like the bunnies, BLANC and NOIR, you will be seeing this pair in Union Raid and Solo Raid teams for the foreseeable future. Leader was the only healing cover HP Nikke in the game, and having more Nikkes that can heal cover gives more flexibility on what Nikkes you will be able to use. Hope you have plenty of gems and golden tickets ready. Alright, that's about it. This is the last video of the series, and I would like your thoughts on how I set up this video, and if you would want me to continue doing it this way for Nikkes that are paired up this way, game design wise, in the future. Please leave a like and a sub. I'm Scrublord, and I'll see you next time.